Back in the shop again, and come on. Is it not kind of fitting? Snow on the ground, mud on the driveway, shop door open, and me and you trying to finish that winter project we thought we were gonna have done earlier in the winter.
Hey, anytime there's a tractor in the background, it must mean some progress was made.
Yes, but this is not just any tractor. This is the tractor that a year ago broke our hearts because we were out spreading. The motor started making a weird sound. We get it back here, we figure it out, we start tearing that motor down, we try to figure out what we're gonna do. Then we have a motor that decided.
From the studios of Channel 12, it's your John Deere bandwagon. Each week, a favorite band of our own Upper Midwest. These and others are brought to you with the best wishes of your nearby John Deere dealer. And now here's your musical wagon master, Chuck Bassick.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the John Deere bandwagon. Mighty nice to have you here on the John Deere bandwagon tonight. You know, the weather hasn't been everything that we expected to be, I guess, but I guess it's finally clearing up. And so for those of you in the studio tonight, we want to extend a dry Minnesota welcome. We hope you enjoy yourself for the next 30 minutes with our old-time music. We're mighty happy to have you here, and come on back and visit us again and visit us often.
We have the shop door open. It is like 40 degrees after earlier in the week when it was like 10 below wind chill. I'm here with the Silver Fox himself. Yes, the one and only mechanic Larry. He is tightening down the top of the fuel injector lines because we're about ready to find out if our excavator motor that came from California wants to run in Minnesota. Any thoughts, Larry?
It's going to run just how well it's going to run.
Oh, that's optimistic. I'll take it. Spent for about 9 months. It's split. There was way more time than most people would realize. I'm kind of used to it, trying to track down bolts and parts that we already ordered.
Yeah.
But we got it. And actually, what's pretty crazy, if you look at it, that looks pretty good. All week, I was working with mechanic Larry, trying to get him over, trying to see what he had available for his schedule. Once you know what, Thursday, here we go. He's coming over. But so that meant, if you remember last week when we kind of got hit by a snowstorm, it's hard to believe today when it's like 38, 40 degrees outside and everything's melting.
How many inches of snow did we end up getting?
Our local area got somewhere around a foot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. To me, the snow wasn't as big of a deal, but like the wind was blowing and this and that, and it was so fitting. Sunday, Adam's out plowing. Monday, I'm all plowing, Dad's all plowing. I mean, it was one of those storms where you could go plow and then like 10 minutes later you went back and it like with the wind blowing, it was kind of like the same. You know, it didn't really feel like it like you accomplished anything.
Yeah.
Kind of like a tractor. So all week I've been working with mechanic Larry trying to figure out what his next free day was. It was looking like Wednesday, Thursday this week was going to be it. I spent Sunday night actually painting, which it's never fun, but it's one of those things that's like, now's the easiest time. And then we got Monday, Tuesday, I did my best to bolt things back on it, but it led us into our new problem.
And because real quick, the urgency you're feeling right now is despite getting a foot of snow last week, the countdown is actually on to until spring right now.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it, but yes, as we are on the back half of March, yes. Well, we were already cranking it over and we didn't hear the thud.
There was no knocking noises.
Yeah. It is weird looking at the engine being green instead of yellow compared to what we started with. I'm the only guy in the world that gives the injection pump rebuild guy like 3 injection pumps and is like, good luck. Well, back in February, early March, we actually got the injection pump back, we got the injectors back, and then we got a new turbo along with it. But we had a huge problem. When we actually got the turbo bolted up to the manifolds, we had about a 1/4 inch gap, meaning that like the turbo should have sat more to the right than it did. You know those days where like everything goes as planned and life works out perfect? Today's not that day, but it's not going bad. Last Friday, we rolled a second John Deere tractor in the yard and pulled the injection pump off, injectors off that because we wanted the rebuild guy to rebuild those as well. And we pulled that turbo off. When we did that, we noticed that the exhaust manifold is absolutely garbage on that tractor.
Okay.
So I got a new one ordered, but we had to take the intake off. Now, this is the tractor we're working on here, Old Miss, is a 1983 model. The tractor we rolled in the shop was the last year 4850, which is 1989, I believe. And they have a different intake. So we started comparing intakes. We started noticing that the later models were different intake and they were smaller. That's exactly almost, it was a little different, but almost the same as what was on the excavator. Sure enough, we take the turbo that got brought in the shop for this tractor. It fit our 89, but it wasn't fitting our 83 really well. Okay. So I go to John Deere, we learn a whole bunch of stuff. We did find out some different things with serial brakes, different stuff like that. They want 2 grand for a turbo, and I'm like, no. But the whole time I'm like, how do I make the day count with Larry, because the whole goal was to try to see if we couldn't get it running. Tomorrow, mechanic Larry's showing up, and I wanted to try and make this thing run. That's still my goal. So what we have right here is the original motor, original turbo off of this original 4850. It's old, doesn't look bad, but what we have attached to this old turbo right there, we have this bushing, this exhaust bushing, whatever you want to call it, and that does not look like it's going to come out easy. And actually, if you see these two hose clamps, there was a hole in this, and like a good farmer, I took a beer can and actually wrapped around and hose clamped it so exhaust quit coming out of it. That's not recommended by any diesel manufacturer ever, but it ran like that for a lot of years. Wow. Finally got it. I bet I did that 7-8 years ago. So, you know, hey, it worked. That one feels way more normal, don't it? A little bit of free play, but I've always had, I've never pulled one off and not had free play. So it did get replaced at some point. That's cool. You're telling me our probably aftermarket parts that are more expensive because of tariffs that probably came from China might not be perfectly round?
Yeah, it seems like it.
You know how many hours I got in that thing? You do got it way better than I got it.
It's the right way to do it. It'll work for today.
But when it's 40 years old, you don't get a lot of options.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. Oh, wow, cool. You're pumping up the fuel system, which means we're close. In about 5 to 10 minutes, we're gonna turn the key for the first time. Well, we started this project a year ago, which me and you've said those words before, right?
Yeah.
Anything you're worried about? Anything you're nervous? I mean, in a weird way, like we were talking last night, between taking the motor, putting it on the on your rotating stand, your engine stand, spun the motor over, new front main, rear main, new oil pump, pickup tubes. I mean, we did outside of cam, pistons, and liners, pulling a crank, pulling a head. We pretty much had everything else. Is there anything you're really worried about?
Not yet.
We already got through our first leak.
Now the fuel return line on the number 6 injector.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not all bad. We kind of do that.
That was a minor one. That's a good thing.
Yeah. We got secondary oil pressure gauge, so we'll kind of be able to monitor that. That's cool. My running joke with Larry is he doesn't stand still. He does not stand still.
Old guy now.
I'm still amazed how good you still move for 66. And you're still pretty feisty. Did you really think it was going to pop off that well?
No. Fire door almost scared me.
Caught me off guard too. I mean, it was instant. Wow.
I was a little bit high, said just about 1100.
Who cares? It didn't go clunk. Wow.
Yeah, everything works too. What the hell?
We're kind of good at this game, Larry.
Must not be the first rodeo.
Definitely yours not. Well, okay, come on, it's kind of fitting. We got two tractors in the shop. We robbed a few parts off of one to put on the other, but the fact that we were finally able to make it, run.
To hear it run, that's it.
Wow.
I'm gonna fire it again.
Yep, go ahead.
the little things.
Gotta admit, that's just a cool feeling seeing it run, ain't it?
It's the little things. Yeah, I see it. And it sounds.
It sounds really good. It sounds really good. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for bringing it back from California. Well, and then now what we've talked about for years, later this summer, me and you are going to get the other motor, flip back up in your stand, knock out the liners, get it to machine shop. That way down the road, if anything else happens, hey, we got it. We got one ready to go.
It's a good feeling.
It is cool. Snow on the ground, mud on the driveway, shop doors open, and a tractor running. Sounds like a me and you project.
And nothing dripping.
We are good.
Nothing leaking out the bottom side, nothing.
The one neat thing with this is, in a weird way, we were able to take our time with it. I mean, how much time? One thing that's not fair, if we looked at the time frame, this wasn't mine and yours best as far as, bragging about the time frame we put a motor in a tractor. But we dotted the I's and crossed the T's. There's so many new bolts. There's so much new hardware. Even like that fuel shutoff valve. Probably could have made it run. Mm-hmm. But even today, taking that extra step and then looking over, the petcock's just as old. Why don't we replace that? We really took a lot of time in dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Because now, if it ever has to come apart again, it should come apart really well.
I won't be taking it apart again. I don't think.
I don't know.
I'll be sitting over here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Eric, you see that bolt?
We've had that joke. Walker, wheelchair, rolling in, bathrobe.
Yeah, see that bolt? You gotta get that bolt up.
Cute nurse working at the county. Yeah. Wheels you in. All right.
We got it.
The original goal was about 1 o'clock. See, between 1 and 2, we kind of figured that we should be able to get it running. About 2:30 that we were actually priming the fuel system. Because actually, one thing we couldn't figure out, in our box of parts from last August, that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
In our box of parts from last August is the fuel shutoff on the bottom of the tank.
Okay.
And the other night I was asking Adam, like, there's a fuel shutoff. Do you remember anything weird happening? He's like, not really. And I'm like, I thought I remember something. And he's like, oh, it doesn't shut all the way off, which isn't a big deal, except for when you pull the fuel filters and everything. And he's like, we walked out of the shop, thought it was off, came back in because we went to grab some food. And he's like, there's like a couple of gallons of diesel fuel on the ground. Ooh, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I'm trying to bonsai this valve in. Then I look over and the petcock is just as old next to it used for draining the fuel tank. And I'm like, hey, let's do this. Or if we're going to put one in, let's put the other. Get those in, and by the time I got up off the ground, Larry's sitting there with the hand primer priming the fuel system. We're at that point where it's like, hey, let's try it. And I remember asking Larry, are you nervous? And he's like, at this point, I just want to know. I just want to know. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, we fired up, and she runs great.
Wow. Well, that must have, felt really good.
Yeah, it did. It did. All right, so Mechanic Larry is packing up his truck.
My dirty truck.
Yeah, that means you've been down a few gravel roads. All right, so this adventure started, what, a year ago? I think it was right around like March 16th last year that the motor started making some noise, get the tractor back, you come out, diagnose it, figure out, yep, it's cylinder number 5. Me, Adam, Andre pulled the head off, found out, yep, spun out crank bearing, which then led us down the rabbit hole. Do we rebuild that one, or do we grab this excavator motor from in back? That's normal for around here, isn't it?
Excavator motor looks really good in there.
No, yeah, fast forward a few months. Today, when you're rolling the shop, what was your thoughts? Like, hey, we have it, or?
I thought we'd get it running, but I was kind of concerned that I didn't know what to expect.
That's kind of where I was at. Now, we did have that engine in the split and stand, or in the engine stand. You'd spun it over a bunch. We pulled the injectors. The injectors, the injection pump were reman. We were trying to get the new turbo on it. That kind of fought us, but we learned a whole lot through that process. So today you have way more time trying to make a very old turbo work. But it sounded good. So now we need to order a turbo for that motor, which we'll get to that point. But I don't know. Last night I was in here till 11, about 11:15. I'm like, okay, I gotta go to bed. And then gotta go to bed. So we're gonna leave the shop, and I'm like, if we can end the day tomorrow with it running, which is where we're at, it'll be a good day. And
It's a good day.
Definitely a good
The sun
day.
is shining, we got snow on the ground and mud on the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the shop door open.
And the shop door open. Feels like one of our winter projects, doesn't it? Finally, after a year, which isn't, because even me and Larry were talking about it. It's not that we set the record for putting a motor in, because obviously we did not, but if you looked at all the details that we did, we dotted every I, crossed every T, the amount of new hardware, the whole goal with that is hopefully down the road we don't touch it.
That'll be a solid tractor for years and years to come, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the goal. The other thing too with some of this stuff, if you do have to do a repair in the field and you know that some of this was apart, 5, 8, 10 years later, it should still come apart. When it's 40 years old and it hasn't been apart, well, that's the one you're kind of like, oh, shoot. So we still have AC lines, we still have hood, different things to bolt on, but today we definitely hit our goal. We're just like, hey, let's hear it run for the first time ever. And it is still hard to believe that this is the motor that like 3-4 years ago our cousin rolled in the yard with it from California.
Yeah, different
and,
color.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
And even at that time I'm like, is this a good idea? And
Yeah.
luckily it all worked
It's
out.
working out. Yeah, that's awesome.
Friends, I guess that's about all the time we have for the John Deere bandwagon for tonight. It's been a real pleasure to have you with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, be back with us 7:30 next Wednesday night. Chuck Patton speaking on behalf of your John Deere dealer. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you again next Wednesday night at 7:30 for another John Deere bandwagon.
John Deere Bandwagon has been presented for your viewing pleasure by the John Deere dealers of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. And join us again next week at 7:30. Until then, here's to a week of good farming from your friendly John Deere dealers.